Wheeler's Weekend Jams, live and direct.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Wheeler's Weekend Jams, live and direct. And I'm with the one and only Spider of Powerman 5000.
Yes.
How you doing, sir?
Good. I'm doing good. How are you?
Fantastic.
Good.
I'm going to get right into it.
All right.
You guys just came out with your recent album, Builders of the Empire.
Builders of the Future. Builders of the Future. The Empire, that's Star Wars. You're close. But it's called, Builders of the...
My bad.
That's all right, Builders of the Future.
Yes.
I like that, though. Maybe it should have been called
Builders of the Empire.
I like Builders of the Empire better.
Either way, what was the story behind that, and how was the recording process with this album compared to your past albums?
Well, this record was a lot like the last record. We used the same studio, same producer, who was actually an ex-Powerman member, Evan Rodaniche. So, on the album before Builders of the Empire, we were really happy with the direction we went in, so we just kind of stayed the course with that one. A lot of times over the years we've always tried to like reinvent and do all this stuff, and on this one it wasn't about that. It was about sort of like, we've got this figured out now. Like at this point I don't think reinvention is in the cards for us. Let's just do what we do better and write better songs and give the best performances we can, and so that was really the process on this one.
Yeah, well, that's good. Sadly, Wayne Static passed away.
Right.
Before the tour even begun.
We thought he was just late for all the shows. Look, if you can't joke at a time like this.
Yes. My condolences, to you guys and his family and everyone else. What does this tour mean to you guys now since his passing? Well,
it's been insane, honestly. Like because we had been gearing up for this tour. And, back in 99, 2000, Powerman did a tour with Static X, and it was sort of this time when we were both coming up. We sort of both had, at that time, I think we had a platinum record, they had a gold record. So it was like this sort of, everything was happening back then for the bands. And so I was looking at this tour as a bit of like a reunion of that tour, so I was kind of excited about it. And I thought I thought a lot of people who saw that tour back in the day, it would be really cool to see it now, or the people who missed it. We just sort of had this whole plan, and it was going to be really great and exciting, and then we were literally getting ready to leave, and I got a text from a manager saying, hold on, rumor, like at that point it hadn't been confirmed, and then literally 20 minutes later, we got confirmation. So, it was weird. It was just this moment, I was at home, and I was with my girl, and it was just like, wow, like, I hadn't really talked to Wayne in a lot of years. I knew him pretty well back in the day, but he had grown apart from a lot of people. His band, his ex-band, but it still is that really weird thing when it hits you. It's like, wow, this is somebody like my age and someone that I knew, and and just to have that, just like, bam, that's it. So then it was just really about what do we do? What do we do? And we all sort of took a second and realized that we're in a band. And we play shows, and that's what we do. And sitting home wouldn't have made any difference, So that's when we all sort of rallied, and everyone involved scrambled and got the tour back on track, and it's been amazing, It's
great. Yeah. How's the feedback been from the crowd so far this past week?
Yeah, it's been really good. We feel like it's the tour. Most people, we haven't seen any like ticket returns or anything like that. I think people just want to come out and see the show, and I'm sure that Static and Powerman share a very similar fan base anyway, so it didn't, but it's in the air, people are, certain nights more than others. Some nights you might even not know, but other nights it's like you get a lot of people yelling stuff from the crowd about Wayne and stuff, so yeah.
Rest in peace to Wayne Static. And the last time I saw you guys, you were on tour, well, this was 2004 maybe, Edema and Spine Shake at the House of Blues. I saw you guys.
I remember that show. 2003 actually.
2003, yeah, it was back in the day.
Yeah, that was a great tour. I remember that. That was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Well, changing the subject here. When you were growing up.
Yeah. Well, I haven't yet, but.
Me neither. When you were growing up, who inspired you to kind of get into music? I know you went to art school and everything like that.
Yeah.
But what really got you into music?
Music? It's interesting. I have a very specific moment that changed my life musically, and it's probably nothing you would ever imagine. But growing up, like any kid, you just listen to, you sit in the backseat of your parents' car or whatever's on the radios. you know, whatever it is, fucking Journey, Elton John, who knows? And it's like, you love it. It's like, it's all good. It's music. But it was, you know, to me, it didn't really connect. I liked the songs. And then one day I was probably about 12 or 13 years old, and I was watching HBO. You know, and back in the early days of HBO, I think this might have been pre-MTV. That's telling you how fucking ancient I am. Yeah, probably. They would play music videos between movies, and they call it video jukebox. And so one day I'm sitting there, probably watching Jaws for the 100th time on HBO, and on comes this music video for this band called Madness, and the song's called One Step Beyond. And Madness was this, if you remember Madness, they later had a big hit with Our House in the Middle of the Street. But back then they were like this raw, hardcore ska band, you know, and here was this video of these guys with like shaved heads and dark sunglasses and dancing around the streets of London, and I was just like, what the fuck is this? Like, you know, like my mind just exploded because this was nothing like I'd ever seen before. And so that led me to, you know, finding the Ramones and the Clash and the Sex Pistols and Black Flag and all these hardcore bands. And that was the music that made me go like, I could do this. Like,
these guys have balls.
Yeah, and it also didn't seem all that magical, you know, like you listen to Genesis as a 12-year-old, you're like, I don't know what this is. Like, but you listen to, you know, the Ramones, and you can hear, you know, it's 3 chords, and it's like, and the singer isn't the greatest singer, you know, and that's what made me want to make music, is those bands. And then that led to other, you know, I've always been inspired by more and less musical, like rap music. I always loved rap music and electronic music, so. I never really had the patience to become talented, so it was more about, you know, an attitude and an energy. So, long answer to, you know.
Yeah, totally. And, you know, with the music, it's still evolving always. Right now, EDM is kind of the new thing, I would say.
Yeah.
Where does that put you think, like, industrial metal nowadays? You know, I mean, there's still, you know, like, bands like Ministry and stuff are still, you know, keeping it around, but what is your opinion with EDM now, music like that compared to, well, industrial metal?
I mean, you know, for me, I always felt like we have more in common with that than industrial. Because industrial to me is always that sort of very machine-like, chugga, chugga, chugga.
Yeah.
And we always, our electronics were more akin with, you know, new wave stuff or early Daft Punk, and that could, like, you know, more that style. So I feel like you know, a lot of the electronic music now, you know, if you stripped away the guitars from our records, it would almost sound like like a modern day electronic record. Yeah. So I feel like, you know, there's a real parallel between what's going on and what we've been doing for a long time. Not that we have anything to do with it, but just, you know, it's a similar thing.
Well, obviously, I'm sure you always hear people are like, oh, you know, you're Rob Zombie's brother. But
never
heard that at all. Never. Is there, you think, any time in the future you and your bro are gonna kind of go and do a little tour together?
Well, it's funny. Sort of bash? I mean, we just did, but it was in Europe. So you know, we did the entire month of June in Europe together, doing all the big festivals, and then on the off days he would do headlining shows and we would open for him. So. And it was amazing, you know, it was like the greatest tour we've done in a long time, and I think it would be great here, but no plans yet, so we'll see, hopefully.
So compared to him and you and him, what is the main difference between you and Rob?
As people or as musicians?
Both.
That's a good question. No one's ever asked me that, the difference between us. You know, it's weird, we are very similar as people in a lot of ways. Like, you know, we are brothers, so we think a lot alike, we like the same things, but the difference is, can you hear me all right? This is really fucking loud.
You're good, the mic is good.
You kind of stumped me. I'm trying to think what, his hair is longer. I don't know, you know, in a weird way, and I'm probably making myself sound bad, but I think that in my creative mind maybe thinks slightly more mainstream, which is saying it. I hate the fact that I'm admitting that, but I think that's true. You know. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're an artist as well. Does that relate to like writing lyrics with the band? Is that what inspires you? when it comes to lyrics?
I mean, I feel like it's all connected, you know, because lyrics can be inspired by many things, and a lot of times it's a visual aspect. But also being interested in art has made me interested in all aspects of being in a band, whether it's writing the songs or shooting the music videos or designing the album covers or whatever it is. Whereas a lot of bands, they feel like their job is, these days they don't even write their own songs, but it was like they'd write the song and then that's it. They didn't care what the video was, they didn't care what the album cover was. Somebody just said, here's your album cover. And they said, okay. But for me, I've always been interested in like every part of it.
Every aspect of it. Yeah.
And this is it, you can hear this, every single local band checks the mic like that. Everywhere around the country, never fails. Just like
I've always heard.
It's amazing. No one just says check 1 2, check 1 2.
Well, you're here in this cold night in the Chicagoland area. Is there anything you like when you come to Chicago? Anything like restaurants, certain stores, venues that you really appreciate?
Well, it's funny. I was just talking to somebody about Chicago today and how it's been a very long time since we actually play in the city. It's always like Joliet, or there used to be a venue called the Pearl Room.
The Pearl Room, yeah.
We play there all the time, and I can't remember the last time we played like the Metro, or if they even exist anymore, or like right in the city. And so it's been a really long time since I've spent time in Chicago, but I love the city, and I've just always had a blast when we come here, and it's such a great rock town. So I'd love to try to get a gig in town. Not that I don't like it here.
Yeah. Well, one last question. I'm a big movie buff, and especially horror movies. But if you had to relate your band to a movie, what movie would it be and why? So many. I think Clockwork Orange, because being in a band is sort of like being in a gang, you know. And you're in your drugs, traveling across the country, without trouble. Clockwork Orange, Stanley Kubrick all day. Good one. Well, there you have it, Clockwork Orange. We got some music rocking in the background. What? Spider, thank you so much for doing this interview, man. I appreciate it. Tune into Weird Weekend Jams every Sunday from 7 to 9 p.m. only on WindyCityUnderground.com.